It's Donna. Here to let you know you're destined for greatness, and I'm going to do that today by talking about how you can change your spouse. So I wanted to share that whether you've been married like 1 year or several, Scott and I have been married for 17. In the beginning, everything's cute, it's perfect, you're in love, and then the more you get married, the longer you stay married, what was once cute isn't so funny anymore. It becomes annoying. And so for me, the things that I figured I could change, I just tried. And I tried. And then the more I tried to change Scott, the worse it got. And so our marriage struggled. And so I decided that I used prayer as a last resort for many years. So I ended up praying things like, God, you better change him. So, but then I found this book. So it's called The Power of a Praying Wife. It's excellent. It's by Stormy O'Martian. And I began to read it. And I noticed that when I started reading it, that it talked about God having to change me first. And it's funny now, but at the time it wasn't, because I was hurt, I felt betrayed, I was frustrated. I was just so annoyed that why should I have to change when he's the one that has the problem? So what I started doing is learning that in order for my prayers to be answered, that God had to change who I was so that my prayers could be answered. Because I wasn't the perfect spouse either. He had to change me first because I was willing to be changed in order to change my spouse. This took a long time. It was a long process. And believe me, when it said it, God's got to change me first, I went kicking and screaming, and it was not an easy process. So I'm hoping when I share these stories with you that you don't go through that heartache and hurt that I had to go through. So I just want to encourage you. I want you to know that praying for your spouse is a love language, and it's the ultimate love language that you can give your husband. It doesn't mean gaining control over your spouse. It means laying it all down so that God can transform you, your spouse, your circumstances, and your marriage. And lots of times, God can, as you pray, God will change the way you see him. And so you can start out praying selfishly, but God will change your desires and he will help you pray selflessly. I've even seen God took our marriage in a place that was so difficult and so hard. Times where I thought I wanted to throw in the towel, but I knew that I couldn't, because that just wasn't a choice for me. I saw what it did. Scott was married before, so I saw what it did to his daughter. So I didn't want that for my daughter. And I didn't want that for myself, because I knew that that's not what God intended my marriage for. So if you just trust him and you humble yourself, and that just comes with you submitting to God, and submission means just giving your heart to him and trusting him. It doesn't, and you have to do that willingly. He's not going to force that on you. And you have to learn his way is forgiveness, it's kindness, and it's love. And it means letting go of past hurts. And that doesn't mean necessarily forgetting. It just means forgiving and letting it go. Because forgiveness has a lot more to do with your relationship with God than it does to do with the person that actually hurt you. So I want you to know that you will begin, and you could use this not even for your spouse. You could use it for your children. You could do it for friends. You could use it for enemies. When you have trouble with something or someone in your life, when you go to God and you pray for that person, God will ultimately change your perspective on things that you couldn't even see before. And that's because hurt and emotions all get in the way. Prayer brings about unity in a marriage, and that's ultimately what God wants. When you don't have unity in a marriage, then everything falls apart. So, go get this book, and it's really awesome. I hope that as you journey in your marriage, no matter where you're at, even if you're in a great place, it's never too late to pray for your husband, or for she even has books for like Power of a Praying Parent. I'm just hoping that I can save you some grief and disappointment and hurt by encouraging you just to pray, and that you shouldn't have to use it as a last resort. So, hope this helps, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great evening.